So this is LUP. LUP is a shovelware platformer released in April of 2016. It is not a good game. It is a very bad game. And I've played this for far longer than anyone should ever have any reason to. This game can be finished in about 20 minutes in a casual run, and is basically just a Unity asset flip that was made to bring in money, cheap money for the developers. It does have Steam trading cards, which is, I think, a lot of the reason that people own this game is for the Steam trading cards, and the fact that it's like 50 cents on Steam right now, I think. It's usually 50 cents to $1. It's pretty much a bog standard Unity asset flip platforming game. You have a double jump, you have a gun that fires particle effects that cause frame lag, and you have the ability to move left and right, and that's about it, really. That's all you've got. And, and you have the ability to get hit by random damage boosts that may or may not completely screw your speedrun. So, as you can see by my live split, my best time is 10:54, 10 minutes 54 seconds. That time is legitimate. It's just that, and I did record it, I just didn't have my live split showing, and at the time, I didn't realize that the only reason I actually got that time had to do with a random damage boost that I can't control. It's impossible to get as a regular thing. I only happened to get it out of sheer luck, where a damage boost happened to coincide, I believe, on the same frame as a bounce pad, which you can see are those little sparking effects coming out of the ground. And, I got launched over this stage and skipped about 3/4 of it. It saved a lot of time. If I could get that to work consistently, it would be great, but I doubt I ever will, because this game is just all over the place in terms of, you know, bugs and damage boosts and everything else. It's also kind of hard to tell when you first look at this game what is solid and what's not in terms of ground. Basically, if you have to ask, it's probably not solid. But there's some weird, exceptions to that rule. There's also a Mega Man X-style wall jump, which is pretty much the most useless thing you can do in this game. It will never give you enough momentum to actually reach, or height to actually reach any platforms you wouldn't be able to reach with your double jump. So, in if I ever hit the wall jump, that is a time waster, because the wall jump is almost never useful. Unless you're trying to save yourself from a pit, then it may be a little bit useful, but it's not going to be... oh, crap. And here you can see how damage boosts can completely screw your run. I'll just live with that, though, because I have to record this just to get a base time up for this game. It's just, that's the wall climb right there, or the wall slide. It's extremely slow. So here we take the left route, because the left route is significantly faster than the right one. Wall kicks, whoops. And that took longer than it should have, but that's okay. This stage, not much to it. This is one of the one of the only cutscene skips in the game. There are about, I don't know how many cutscenes, probably about 6 or 7 cutscenes, which waste anywhere from 10 seconds to about 25. Most of them are missable, and in fact, you will probably miss them if you are on just doing a casual run. You'll probably miss them. But, they don't affect anything, and they're all safely skippable. It's just that, oops. It's just that there's one right here you can see. We're going to jump and grab this pill. There's a cutscene immediately before and immediately after the pill. There's a gigantic cutscene trigger that is almost impossible to hit unless you're, yeah. Alright, good. So we got the cutscene skip there, which that cutscene with the old man is extremely long. It's like a 30-second cutscene. And this cutscene is significantly shorter, to the tune of like 20 seconds shorter, probably. So you can get the second cutscene to override the first one, and it will save you a lot of time. There is a way to skip both of them, but it's very hard to get consistently. I was able to do it once, I think, for my previous record run, which was 11:15, I think. 11 minutes, 15 seconds. But, and a lot of this game is just rote memorization. It's avoiding damage boosts that you don't want, it's getting the damage boosts you do want, and avoiding those cutscenes, which are all garbage. So, And we got a little bit of time waste there. If you land in that hole, let's say it wastes a couple of seconds. It's not too bad. It's not a run killer. Unless you happen to get launched into the bottom of the hole, in which case that is a run killer. So these blue things, the blue glowing lights, are always load zones. And this stage is particularly nasty because it's hard to tell what's solid and what's not. A lot of that looks solid but isn't. Which is why I have that rule. If you have any questions about whether it's solid or not, it's probably not. This game does have music, but I have the music lowered for the commentary. It's pretty much just garbage chiptunes anyway. So, I guess one question people probably have is, why do you speedrun this game? Why do you have 6 hours plus on this game? And my answer is because I hate myself. That is the only possible answer. Those apples restore life. You usually don't need them because the only deaths I ever take in this run are intentional. And in fact, taking any other death is usually a run killer. So yeah, apples do restore your health, but there's very little point to ever needing your health bar because most things in this game do not damage you nearly enough to require a health refill. So this is an elevator right here, so you can see it's very slow and I'm taking random damage boosts from somewhere, which is one of this game's amazing features, the fact that you can take damage boosts and have no idea what you're getting hit by. So we're probably not going to break the 10-minute time, 10:54 time, because that's you know, it's not something that can be done consistently, and I wouldn't have even saved that split if I had realized they wouldn't count. I do have a video of it, which you can time, and I do have the live split showing immediately after the video ends, so you can, you know, it's not like it was there were cheats going on or anything crazy like that, or I didn't record it. Oops, that's a damage boost. Damn it. As you can see, that's a problem, those damage boosts. This is probably one of the most annoying spots in the game, mostly because of that, and the fact that this elevator is just generally very slow. That was not a great elevator, but it wasn't the worst one I've ever had. As you can see, that's an odd blind jump off screen. I don't want to kill that turret there because it is very, very annoying. Just blast the thing in the minecart down. Usually randomly firing is not a good idea, but there are times when I'll fire at things off screen. It's mostly just get rid of them before I run into them, like that. I should have fired earlier. So City. City's biggest problem is that there are a couple of spots where you can get stuck, and that's a run kill. As you can probably guess, there are a lot of things that can kill your run in this game. That was a pretty smooth city. Okay, so now we're on to Red, which is the second to last stage. Red is a pretty generic stage. It's actually a reskin of a prior stage with slightly different level design. Well, I say design, but this game doesn't really have level design. I wouldn't go so far. Calling it level design is an insult to, you know, actual level designers who, you know, do their jobs and have degrees and things like that. So that's another blind jump. That was a pretty ideal blind jump. We only hit land once, which is a little bit of a time save. Yeah, there's a lot of jumps here where if you don't know they're there, you're just gonna waste a bunch of time and maybe take a death. Fortunately, there's no lives in this game. You just, you know, respawn usually somewhere within the immediate vicinity of where you died, because this game is pretty good about checkpointing, except for a couple of spots where you'll just be back to the start of the level, because why not? This is Ruins of the Last City. Ruins of the Last City is the final stage. There are two cutscenes here, neither of which we can skip, because they occur in a very narrow hallway that is practically impossible to... unless you could find it, whoops, that's a time waste. That's a major time waste right there. Yeah, the problem is that bounce pad will sometimes bounce you right into those pillars there. There's no real way around it. I'll take the damage boost there to save myself. That's fine. And yeah, ideally you'd hit that first try, but it doesn't always happen. So we're not going to beat the 10:54, but we might beat the 11 minute. So let's see. 11:15. So oops. Another blind jump. Take that. This is the first of the 2 unskippable cutscenes, and then one more, and then it's time. So, faster we can do this, and there we'll, yeah, we're not gonna be the 10:54, but that's because, you know, it's impossible to beat that time. It fool me again, but this time we'll be pretty good though. We'll be just over 11 minutes, which is pretty good. He was right. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. There we go. And time. 11:06:67. That really is not bad. I think that actually beats my best time prior to the 10:54. So that is a pretty good time. This is the end screen of LUP. It's horribly misspelled. There's not much to it. I will cut the commentary right now and stop streaming for a moment while I get this ready to upload to YouTube.